Good morning. Welcome to the Power 15. Please announce yourself and tell us where you're calling from.
Good morning, Miss Lola. It's Donna.
Hey, Donna. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Kind of a little extra. Huh?
Did you get my message about the DVDs? I got them.
No, you called me and left a message?
I texted you yesterday. I asked you also to forward me the thing from Tony again with the attachment because I think I deleted it.
Oh, no, I didn't see any of those text messages.
And I said I might be coming to Maryland.
I promise you, I didn't see any of those text messages yesterday.
Okay. Or maybe it was an email. It was one of the two, though. Yeah. Yeah. But that's okay.
I'm looking now. I didn't get no text messages from you.
Okay. I sure did yesterday.
Maybe I didn't see any emails either. I just checked my emails. You sure you wasn't hallucinating?
I did. I did send it to you because when I was looking for Tony's thing yesterday, I lost it. And I was like, where did her email go? So, yeah.
Okay, I'll look on my email as well. If anybody else has joined the call, please announce yourself and tell us where you're calling from. I took the dings off this morning.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't do that because then I don't know when somebody's on the line. We're going to get started here in just 1 minute if you haven't already done so. Please announce yourself and tell us where you're calling from. This is the Power 15 with Lola Barber, Liberated Lola Barber, calling and doing the call out of Knightdale, North Carolina. We do this call each and every morning, Monday through Friday, not on Saturday and Sunday, Monday through Friday, to inspire, to set our intentions forth for the day and prayerfully for the week. And so if you're on the call, we appreciate you being on the call. Pass the word on. I try to post it on Facebook as much as I can, but please post your comments about the call, what you got out of the call, what you think about the call, what you want to hear on the call. All of those things, you can post those things on Facebook. If you have a Facebook account, email me with your comments, and I will post them on Facebook. So if you haven't already done so, please announce yourself and tell us where you're calling from. Okay. All right. 1 second. I'm going to mute out the call, and we are going to get started. 1 second. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Again, this is Liberated Lola Barber out of Knightdale, North Carolina, originally from New York City, by way of Maryland, the Maryland area, on the call with you this morning, as usual, bringing you some of the things that make me go, not just for me to be talking, but for you to be able to receive something that will empower you, carry you through your day, and just really get you to where you want to get to in your life. A lot of times we walking around bouncing in the walls, and I was reading Secrets of a Millionaire Mind last night. I have undertaken that along with a new Facebook, not just a Facebook buddy, but a new sister in empowerment online that I met. She kind of challenged me to read the book. And he was talking about, T. Harv Eker is the author of Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, and he's talking about how most people are walking around, and we talked about this before in the call, kind of numb. They're not really acknowledging where they are, what they need to do, what their life is about, where they want to go, none of that stuff. They're just kind of being. They're just kind of, just being a drone, just kind of being on autopilot. And if you have goals, or if you stated that if you're on this call, I believe you have goals. I believe everybody that gets up and gets on this call has goals or is trying to get to a place in their lives. And so that's why you get on this call, to make sure you stay upbeat and stay in place and in focus to get to where it is that you want to get to. And so in the book, it was talking about that, and I thought that was really interesting. And what it played into for me, though, was that she had not insisted. She had suggested that we both read the book together, the young lady I'm talking about, and she said, let's read chapters 1 and 2. Well, I hadn't cracked the book open in a long time and never finished reading the book. Turns out chapters 1 and 2, there are no chapters 1 and 2. It's part 1 and part 2, and then the book's got 3 more pages. And the challenge was to read that by yesterday. I want to say it was yesterday. It was yesterday. I didn't get that done. I never even cracked the book open because I've been running around doing this, that, and other. So I finally cracked it open last night and started reading it. And I texted her back. I was like, hey, look here, girl. This book is in 2 parts, and the second section is 100 and something pages. 140 pages to be exact. How in the world are we ever going to do this? Because we postponed it till today. So I said, I really don't think I'm going to be able to finish this book. Now, I'm not going to say she was annoyed with me, but this is a person who is about doing what they say that they're going to do, which is what the call is about today, being comfortable versus being powerful. And I've done a program called the Landmark Forum, which always talks about being in integrity. And being in integrity is really following through with what you said you were going to do, is being a stand for who you say you are and what you're about. And, you know, we do a lot of talking about what we're about, but a lot of us don't do a whole lot of showing. And so in her kind of going back and forth with me, I realized that because I didn't finish it, it didn't matter how many pages it was, I wasn't being in integrity about what I said I wanted to do. So because I know I really want to absorb the book, I should have never said that I was going to finish the book like that. I should have looked at it, really realized what I was going to do, and then gave an answer based on what I knew I was really going to follow up with, so that I would be in integrity. And I am going to push myself. We're going to do it on Monday now. I'm going to push myself to finish this book by Monday. And the reason is because I don't want to be comfortable. I want to be powerful. And I wanted to know today from you guys, are you being comfortable or are you being powerful? You can't be both. See, I looked it up in a dictionary, and you know what comfort means? To comfort, or a comfort is a consolation. You ever watch a game show? What do they give to people who don't win the first prize? A what? A consolation prize. So this is a consolation. It's something to blanket. And, you know, another definition was quilt. A comforter is a quilt. It blocks out the cold. So something that blocks things out. In other words, comforters, your comfort zone is absolutely blocking out all of the things, the tools, the signals, everything that you need in order for you to get to where it is that you say you want to get to. So if comfortable is, I don't like to go to new events because I don't really like fooling around with new people, which is one of my deals. I can get in front of the room and on the stage, but I don't like being in the middle of a room by myself, mingling through people. If that's one of your deals, that's a comforter. That's an absolute comfort. That is preventing, or has prevented me. I've kind of killed that one, but it has prevented me from getting out, meeting people, and expanding my circle when it comes to where I say I want my life to go. Okay? And so are you being comforted? Are you blocking out what you need in order for you to have success? You got to ask yourself that question. I know you guys have heard the phrase, either you can make excuses or you can make money, but you, excuse me, this is my call, so I'm going to be real blunt, but you damn sure can't do both. Well, I'm going to submit to you this morning that you can lose weight, okay, or you cannot, but you can't do both. You can lose weight or you can eat everything you want, but you sure can't do both, okay? You can make excuses or you can excel in your business, but you damn sure can't do both. You can have a great relationship. You can make excuses or exceed in your relationship, but you cannot do both. See, excuses do nothing but give us reasons. You know, and I looked at the definition for an excuse. An excuse is an apology. So when we apologize, we're admitting what? Guilt. In this instance, what's the guilt for? Not having fulfilled the thing that we said that we wanted to do in the first place. So what? Not being committed. And so when you look at it and you break it down to that point, you see that if you're trying, everybody wants to, oh, what's the secret to success? What's not being comfortable? One of my mentors says everything that you ever wanted is right outside your comfort zone. And that's because your comfort zone, if you look around, check and see for yourself whether or not it's really all that comfortable. We've talked about that one time before. Just because your comfort, see, this is a deal. And my mother and I had a conversation about this a couple of years ago. She was going through some changes, still adjusting to my dad's passing. And we started talking about outside of your comfort zone. And outside of your comfort zone, and Jerry Durano Clark talks about this, and lots of other leaders and motivational speakers talk about this. Right outside of your comfort zone, you know, it's like outside of the house and you walking into the forest. There's thorns, there's bushes, there's stuff you got to chop down. There's experiences that you're going to have that you're not going to like. But on the other side of that rugged terrain, there's exactly where you want to be. And so we don't like to go through the discomfort. We don't like to go through the stuff that it doesn't feel good to us or is not familiar to us. But is being broke and that being familiar to you where you really want to be? Is being alone because you can't crack through that hard veneer or you can't crack through what it means to be in relationship with somebody? Is that really where you want to be? As women, especially, we like to convince ourselves, oh, I don't need no man, or I don't need this. No, is it that you don't need one, or is it that you're not willing to be uncomfortable long enough in order to get to where it is that you say you want to be? And I'm not suggesting that anybody on this phone is being what I'm saying right now. I'm saying that if you look at yourself, check yourself. If you look at yourself, what are you being? Are you being comfortable? Which don't take that as a compliment anymore. I'm comfortable. No, none of us should be comfortable till we 95 years old. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. There's a lady who lives in my development. Her name is Miss Hazel. And I watch Miss Hazel go outside every day and walk this little bad dog that barks at everybody and pulls her around. Now, he's little, but she's a little lady, okay, with a bad hip. She walks him 2-3 times a day. She's still driving. She's 83, okay? She's still driving. I ain't real sure she can see all that well, to be perfectly honest with you. But she does what she's got to do. She cleans out that car. And look at this. She's got a son who's 60-something who has got every ailment known to man, including needing a heart transplant at present because his heart is enlarged. But do you know that this little lady told me yesterday that she goes over to her son's house probably once or twice a day to help him break up the fluid and the phlegm in his lungs, smoked cigarettes all his life, chain smoker. She's now, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with this, but when somebody has pneumonia or something like that, you're supposed to cup, my girlfriend taught me this, cup your hand and pound their back to break up the fluid so that they can get it out. And that might not sound like a hard thing, but you're not rubbing. You are pounding. This takes significant energy. This is something that you're sweating for doing after you finish, because you're thinking you're hurting the person, but you're not. This is how you got to get that fluid out of their lungs. And she does this for him 1 to 2 times. Matter of fact, she does this for him almost every other day. So on top of walking her dog, on top of going shopping for her groceries, on top of cooking her food, on top of barely being able to walk because of her hip. But guess what? She's made a decision about whether or not she wants to be powerful at 83 or comfortable, because she could be sitting in the house watching soap operas all day long. I promise you, she's outside more than most people that I see. I see this lady every 15 minutes, I promise you. So she's made a decision. So your age even doesn't matter whether or not you're going to be comfortable or you're going to be powerful. Okay? And the last thing I want to talk about, in being comfortable or powerful, the one thing that will make sure that you stay in that place of power is living in integrity, which is something that I mentioned earlier in the call, living in integrity. And when I say living in integrity, I'm going to give you a quick story. I told you guys I did the program called the Landmark Forum. It's landmarkeducation.com if you're interested. Powerful, powerful, powerful self-work, okay? There was a guy who stood up one day, and he proceeded to tell everybody about how he had this company, I do this and I do that. And Landmark is really a personal development vehicle. I do this and I do that, and my company does this. And he says, we build everything on integrity. I mean, that's our tagline, excellence through integrity. And the lady who was leading the forum said to him, really, that's awesome, that's awesome. So he was he started talking about something, telling us a story about how he was late somewhere. And she said, wow, are you late often? Because he was kind of cocky. She said, are you late often? He said, well, yeah, I don't try to be late, but when I am, I am. And so she said, well, when you get there late, what do you say? He said, I just proceed into whatever presentation I'm going to do, for the client. She said, do you apologize? Do you tell them you're sorry that you weren't being in integrity and that you were kind of messing with their time? And he said, no. He said, as a matter of fact, if I get there and they're looking at me crazy, the first thing I say to them is, are we going to keep talking about this, or are we just going to proceed and do what it is that we need to do? And she said to him, what did you say your tagline was again? And he said, excellence through integrity. And she said, you aren't being in integrity. She said, when you get somewhere late like that and you don't have the decency to apologize, not to explain where you've been, because that makes no matter, but to recognize the fact that you have not been in integrity and you've not respected those people's time that they took to get there on time and maybe even early, you're not living in integrity. You're not walking in integrity. So maybe you better change your tagline. She went on to tell him that when you show up late for an event, for a meeting, that sets the tone for every single thing you do from that point on with that client. They may smile in your face. They may even pay you, but they never forget at their core the fact that you left them standing there, sitting there for an hour, and you couldn't even apologize or own that it was wrong when you got there. And so even if those relationships are momentarily successful, they will not last. I'm telling you guys that story because I want you to know that beyond being late, if you start a project and you don't finish it, and you promised everybody around you that you were going to finish it, you promised the people that you introduced into the business you were going to get them to the place that you promised them that paying that money were going to get them to when they got involved in that business. If you got into a relationship or into a marriage and that person hasn't done anything to physically harm you and they're just trying to find their way to, and you haven't done everything you could possibly do to make that relationship work. If you had a child and you haven't done everything you can possibly do to make sure that they grow up to be as healthy and as full as they can possibly be, we're not living in integrity when we don't do those things. And so I'm no longer going to numb myself like we talked about the other day. I'm no longer going to fool myself or allow myself to believe that I can be comfortable, because guess what? I can't be comfortable. Too many people out there need the things that I have. They need the knowledge that I've been able to acquire. They need the fact that God deposited me into this world to make a difference. So I refuse to be comfortable. Today, I'm sharing with everybody that my affirmation will be, comfort is no longer an issue. I want to be powerful in the world today. I will be powerful in the world today. And you can feel very, very happy to share that affirmation with me if you want to, but I'm telling you, every time today that you decide that you might not want to do something that will take you to the next level or help somebody increase in their life, wonder and ask yourself, am I being comfortable in this moment or am I being powerful? Because the difference between those two things can not only change lives. If you're dealing with a health issue right now, they can save your life. Because doing that extra bit of exercise or putting down that ham hock or that barbecue because it's comfort food and it feels good to you could be the difference between you building a healthy future and you just being comfortable right now. Stop blocking out your success with that quote called comfort. Everybody, thank you for being on the call this morning. I hope you have a powerfully, powerfully productive day. We'll jump back on Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. with your girl, Liberated Lola. Please spread the word. I will be posting a replay for this call probably in about an hour. Thank you guys for being on. Take care. Be blessed. Have a great day.